All right, so everybody, thank you so much for joining us on the next episode of Beyond Rhetoric podcast. Today, we have a returning guest, my man PT, who you've seen on other episodes before. He's going to be co-hosting with me as we interview the wonderful Minister Brockman. So this man, I know from meeting up with him at Baltimore engagement, dealing with black men who are tied to all types of business and politics, just trying to make things better in Baltimore and in that Baltimore area. And when PT introduced me to him, we had a wonderful conversation. And he has so many things that he has going on. He has a website that we'll put in the show notes dealing with what they're doing with teaching kids IT and also helping them with a pipeline on how to get into the career sector of IT and even more areas just in that. I'm just kind of whittling it down to a small area. I know Minister Brockman will kind of talk a little bit more expansively about some of the other things that he's doing with youth in the city. But I wanted to make sure that we got him on the show so he can talk about all the things that he has dealing with programs that he's putting out and the effort he's doing with helping raise our community up. So, with that said, Minister Brockman, welcome to the show. Is there anything you wanted to add to that introduction?
Man, that was a perfect introduction. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm grateful. I'm honored, and I have no words. I do appreciate it, my brother. Thank you.
No doubt.
Hey, Peyton, what's happening, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey,
PT.
what's going on? How y'all doing, man? As Khalid said, man, I'm PT. We're doing a collaboration on this podcast with the minister. This morning, I have a platform called the Real Leadership Podcast. We'll put that site, that link into the description as well. But of course, I'm a board member with Beyond Rhetoric. That's my family as well. So I'm looking forward to this conversation with you, minister, and hearing your thoughts on what you're doing because we met probably about 2 years ago now. It's been
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, I think it's been three. Yeah,
yeah,
it's been a minute. Yeah.
yeah,
Since we first met, we met at a ABC community conversation. Yeah.
yeah. And walking
Yeah.
back to our cars, we were just talking, and it's funny how God brings people together. And 3 years from now, I definitely see the minister as one of my mentors. So we've had lunch together. We talk from time to time. So I definitely like to pick his brain, and this program he has is outstanding. So I don't want to take that away from you. So go ahead, Miss Minister. Go ahead and let us know what this is all about and why we're here today.
Oh, okay. So focus stands for Focus on Communities United for Success. Um, and I founded Focus mainly because of my career in the IT field. It spans. I started in 1984 with IBM as an intern, and later I got a job as a computer tech with the XT computers and the PT computers, the personal computer PC computers. So anyway, my career has spanned the whole gamut of IT. In the last 15 years, I switched over to cybersecurity. And what happened was I was a systems engineer with DISA, Defense Information Agency. And I kept running into these people. I'm designing these multi-million dollar platforms, system platforms. And I kept running into these cybersecurity people, and it was like, no, you got to change this, and no, this is that, and I'm sitting up there like, I'm the engineer, you can't tell me what to do. But anyway, I was like, you can't beat them, you might as well join them. So I went on and got my certification, and I became a cybersecurity subject matter expert, and I've never looked back. Yeah. So a little bit about Focus. That's the reason why I started Focus, is because one, my personal story on how I got to college and how people helped me along the way. I couldn't read or write when I graduated from high school. I graduated with a D minus, and I worked my way to traveling to Elizabeth City. They didn't have my transcript. They didn't have an official application or anything like that. When I had bought my transcript, and it was, it was bad grades. It was D minus, So the lady was like, Mr. Brockman, we can't let you, your grades are not high enough. You need at least a 2.0 to be considered for Elizabeth City. So we can't admit you into the college, and plus we don't even have your application. We don't know who you are, right? Where did you come from? So I told him my story of how, my journey of how I got there, which by the way is housed in the Library of Congress. It was selected to be a part of to be housed in the Library of Congress. So I'm pleased about that. But anyway, once they accepted me into Elizabeth City when they really should have sent me home. So what they did was they accepted me into the college unofficially, which they shouldn't do. Colleges don't do that these days, right? And so the dean of admissions said, "Well, I'll give you a semester to bring your grade to get your grades up, and we'll make a decision on whether we want to officially admit you into college." So what happened was they assigned me a chaperone, and the young lady, on top of doing her work, she followed me around in my classes and took notes, and she helped me to study for my exams and all that stuff. And what happened was I finished my first semester with a 2.9 GPA, right? So getting to the point of why I started Focus, there were people that along my journey who helped me. Right, I could never have gotten through college. I've never would have made it to college. I don't know where I would be right now if it wasn't for people who helped me. So I internalized that in my spirit and my soul to help others. So I'm taking my 40 years of experience in IT and posing that onto young people, 18 to 36-year-olds that are really, they don't have a direction. They're out of high school, don't really have a direction. They're working dead-end jobs at McDonald's, Amazon, and they really don't have a career. So my role is to get them certified in the CompTIA certifications, the A plus, the Network plus, and Security plus, and also do Cisco certifications as well, and get them into the IT field where they can make substantial income and be able to take care of their families. We do have several students who have come through the program and are doing very well. We have one young lady, she got an offer. She didn't even get her certification. After our training, she started applying for jobs before she even sat for the exam. And based on her resume and her training from the Focus program, they hired her at $75,000 a year. She was 24 years old.
Oh,
Yeah, so she's been with this company 3 years now. So I know she's probably making close to 90 or 100,000 right now.
man.
Yeah. So, and that's just one. It's several other young people that have gone through the program. One young lady, she was facing eviction. She was my neighbor, and one day she overheard me talking loudly about the Focus program and my frustrations, and she knocked on my door, and she was like, Eric, I didn't mean to eavesdrop on you, but I heard you talking about you do IT training. Do you think I could take your program? So of course I accepted her into the program. She finished the program, got certified. Now she has multiple certifications, and she got a job downtown. I think it's with Brown Advisory, or one of those prestigious firms. She's making around $90,000, where she was doing Uber Eats, Instacart, and facing eviction, and now she's ready to buy a house. So those are just a few things that we're doing. Yeah. So
That's what's up, man. Like, in today's climate, you definitely got to have some level of cybersecurity or those type of skill sets, even if you want to get into the project management element of, IT or things like that. But I do like, so for your program, do you focus on underserved community people, or are you focusing more on just the gambit of people who are interested in this field?
mostly underserved individuals that come from the east side of Baltimore or the west side of Baltimore. But those are a lot of times where we do our advertisement, and we do our social media applications, promotionals. A lot of those young people are coming from those areas, and so we've trained close to a little bit over 100 students in the past 3 years. Yeah. So it's not easy. We have a good attrition because a lot of the students, they want to get in IT, but it's not easy at all. It's not easy. Um, and 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 a lot of once they get into it, they find that it's not for them. So we just try to keep pressing on. And one of the things I do want to say, Focus is more than just an IT training organization. We are a wealth generation organization. We are community wealth generating. So what I mean by that is you have a lot of organizations that do IT training. You have the Empowers, the Bite Back, which they closed down lately. You have Pass It On. You have several organizations that do IT training, and these organizations, to me they're siloed. That's what they do. They do IT training and that's it. And they'll help the students do resumes and things and do computer literacy and things like that. Focus is takes a more of a holistic approach, and not just training the individual, but also putting them on the path for wealth generation. And what I mean by that is they become owners of our for-profit, or they share in the profits of our for-profit companies. They also, if they want to start a business, we will help them do their business plan, marketing plan, and we have what we call a community investment fund. So what we do is we take those plans and we present that to the investment fund, and it's a panel that will review whether they want to make an investment with this startup organization. So we help them start their own business as well, but they never lose the ownership of the other for-profit organizations. So they have multiple streams of income.
Okay, man.
The other thing is that we're look. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please finish.
Okay. The other thing is that we have been looking into developing co-op housing. We've been talking to the city, the Greater Baltimore Committee, and a couple of other organizations about looking into cooperative housing. See, so you have cooperative housing in New York, a couple other places, Philadelphia, place like, but it's not in Baltimore. And the thing is that I believe that you need this cooperative housing to create affordable housing, because what that cooperative housing is that it's basically the individuals who live in the housing, they really own shares or they own portions of the cooperative. So what happens is that they'll pay, like, instead of paying rent or a mortgage, they'll pay a membership fee. And that membership fee goes to the property upkeep and also reinvestment back into the community.
Yeah, that's I didn't know Baltimore didn't have that. Right? That's interesting. That New York.
So they got one. I think it's yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I think they have one cooperative apartment complex.
wow, that's crazy. So I have this question though, right? You're taking people from underserved communities. You're giving them this IT skill set. You're helping them reinvest into businesses. You're then getting them to be homeowners and stake in these apartments. I'm gonna ask you the question, man. How much does all of this cost to the individual?
Well, it doesn't cost them anything. The IT training is free. We're funded by the Able Foundation, Weinberg Foundation, Comcast, the Baltimore Children and Youth Fund. We received a $200,000 grant over a 4-year period from the Baltimore Children and Youth Fund. And I just did a business prospectus where we're going to be trying to attempting to raise $15 million so that we can expand the program. Not just Baltimore. Baltimore is a prototype, but we want to expand to Philadelphia, Atlanta, New York, and other regions throughout the country. And we're hoping to be able to raise the $15 million to do that. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So to answer your question, it doesn't cost the student anything. All we do ask is that they participate in the promotionals, and they give the reviews, their reviews and stuff like that. um, that basically, and really, we'll pay for them to go to tech conferences around the country.
Wow.
So they can travel and all that, everything, the room and board. They get stipends and all of that. Uh, um, so it's really giving them a lifestyle that we all dream of. But it's just a matter of whether they can make it through the program, the initial part of it. You have to get certified. If you don't get
Yeah.
certified, you can't become what we call a student partner.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Brockman, thank you so much for all that information and for everything that you're doing in the community. One of the things I wanted to ask you as we're going to be wrapping up soon, just had a couple more questions to go. Is there anything that you have going on right now that you would like to promote or push out there? Anything that you have forthcoming in the next year or two that you want to talk about and promote to our audience?
Sure. Well, one of the things is we need donations. We need contributions. This is not cheap. Um, it's very expensive to be able to provide this type of training to young people. And one of our barriers is that a lot of the young people, because they're coming from disadvantaged backgrounds, they need babysitters, they need transportation, and some of them they need food. Some of them need housing. So what we want to do is try to give them establish a fund where we can give them a stipend, like either a weekly or a monthly stipend. This not much, but something that will help them get by while they're going through the training and things like that. So we definitely need contributions or donations. The other thing is that we're hoping to have our gala, but it's like a graduation gala. So our students will graduate, and then they will receive their pin, their focus pin, and also their focus certificate of partnership or ownership and things like that. We're looking to do that in September, October. So we're going to be promoting that in the upcoming weeks. So yeah, that's it. So over the next year, I would say we need our own facility, training facility. So what happened was our training facility. We were partners with the Housing Authority of Baltimore, so we use their facility to do training. But we can't do training in the evenings because they shut the building down. And a lot of the young people that we train, they work during the day and they need to work, right, and come to class in the evening. So if we can have our own facility, that would be awesome. Um, one thing I want to say, and this is a twist to the game, and it's down the road. Maybe we're looking at maybe 3 years down the road. But many years ago, I took a course with day trading. So I learned how to do day trading, right? And understand the market trends and things like that. One of the curriculums I want to develop is to teach young people how to do day trading.
Mm.
So with that, I think that'll be a game changer. That'll be a game changer.
Yeah,
You know how young people are when you teach them something, they expand and innovate and make it better.
Yeah, is that going to be during tariffs and Doge or post tariffs and Doge?
That's down the road.
The market is a
That's what
mess,
I vision.
man.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Yeah.
market is a
But
mess.
the thing about it, you have to be a visionary. You have to think what's next. You
Oh,
always have to be on what's next, how we're going to, keep this thing going. So I'm always thinking about how to try to think innovative, what we can do next to make sure everything stays fresh and stuff like that.
Yeah, we call those think big ideas, where you're kind of trying to forecast where you want to go to next. Because if you don't come up with a plan, then you'll be planning for nothing, right? So that makes sense. So thank you so much for sharing all that. I wanted to ask you something that we ask on all of our guests on the show is we do a thing where we say, hey, what is something that you've either been reading lately or you finished reading? Any shows that you've been binging? or a movie that you just seen. You don't have to pick all three. You can just pick one. If you want to pick all three, up to you. But it's just something for the audience to get to know you a little bit better. And PT will answer on his side as well. I'll give something too at the end.
Okay. Well, many years I'm considered what you call a prayer warrior, right? So I read a lot of books on prayer. I created a curriculum called the Prayer Institute. It's a 36-week, and the reason why it's 36 weeks because it's once a week program, and basically teaching people how to do prayer, what prayer is all about. I might even try to do a podcast on that. I think I might do that. But yeah. So one of my books that I was reading is well, this one is not on prayer, but it's called Tribe. It's a small read. And I just started this portion. I just started it. I'm looking to dig into it in the next couple of days and get started with it. It's called Tribes.
Called tribes. Okay, okay. For myself, I would say this is I guess this is what you call uh indirect advertisement. I read your book. I read your pamphlet that you gave us when we all had the dinner together. That kind of talks about your life story
Wow.
and where you come. And me and my wife were reading it together. And just wanted to say I know you haven't put it out yet, so I won't go too far. But it is an amazing journey that you had. And if I could put one word out there, it is persistence. You model persistence all through your story. And I really appreciate that because there are moments where you think you're going through hard times and then you read what someone else has gone through and then you're like, well, wait a second. He had so many odds against him and he made it this far. Why can't I? You know? And so it's inspirational as well. So I will say the other book that I'm reading is that same night that PT brought me to the Baltimore Black Men's Conference. I got a book from a guy named Kolu. It was about
Yeah, cooler. Yeah. He was next to
yes.
me.
So I got
Yeah.
man, I'm so glad I got his name at least close. So, so I've been reading his book about the spirit of fatherhood. And yeah, so I took it with me. I just came back from vacation. I was on a cruise. PT don't say nothing. And so I took that book with me and I've been reading that. And so I'm like a third through. And I'm still going through it, and just so many good tips about different angles of being a father. Not only being a father to your child, but how you could be father to other children that are around you, and also understanding the effects of people who didn't have a father in their life. So it kind of
Yeah.
gives you a mindset to have empathy for them as well, and trying to fill in the gap. So that's what I've been reading. I'll go ahead.
That's nice.
Thank you. I'll pass it over to PT.
Man, that's a good segment because we won't talk about how Khalees was in Belize when I texted him, right? And he seems so much more relaxed now, right? He seems so much more relaxed.
Nice.
But it's funny that you touched on empathy because the book that I'm reading right now or listening to because I'm an audio book guy is Brene Brown's Dare to Lead. So if I'm deep into the leadership development and those principles, I'm a nerd for these leadership books, man. And this book, Dare to Lead by Brene Brown, and she talks about the vulnerability of leaders and the empathy of leaders and the sympathy of leaders, right? And how to manage those things. And I'm not done yet, just a few chapters in, but man, it definitely makes me look at myself and how, coming from the background that I have, we don't generally show a lot of vulnerability, right? And then because of my military background, I don't give a lot of vulnerability either, right? So when other people are showing it, it's like, well, no, we can't. Like, I hear it, but this ain't the place for it. I almost try to separate the two where, the whole person is the whole person. So as I'm continuing going through my journey, becoming a better leader overall, just in life and work and everything, man, this is a great book. I don't want to say it again because she's not paying me to say it again, right? But great book. If you got time to listen to it or read it, is definitely a very good thing to listen to. So that's what I got, Khalees.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, Minister Brockman, what I'll do is I will make sure that I add the link to Focus in the show notes, and I will make sure that the donate link is put in there. So anybody who's listening to this who has been inspired by Minister Brockman about Focus and maybe even wants to get involved, the link will be in the
Yes.
show notes, and also you could donate to him if you have been inspired and moved to do so. So with all that said.
You can find my story as well on my website. You can read the story as well on my website.
Oh, so you did put it
My
out
personal
there.
story. Yeah, yeah. It's on the website. It's on my LinkedIn as well.
Okay, okay.
How a HBCU saved my life. That's what it's called. How a HBCU saved my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so me and my
If they
wife.
had turned me away, they how many colleges would have just turned you away?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because me and my wife, we thought we had just an exclusive copy, but it seems like you put it out there for the world. But it's okay. I should have asked you to sign it. I should have asked you to sign it. Um, but with all that said, hey, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you, PT. Thank you for co-hosting. And like I always do, Minister Brockman, you have the last word.
Well, I want to thank you, brothers, for having me. I'm so grateful and honored to be on your show. If you need me for anything, just pick up the phone, text me, or whatever. I'm going to do my best to be there for you. And to your audience, I bless you. I thank you for being a part of this great show. And I ask the Lord to order your steps and to anoint you as you move forward in life.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And go beyond the rhetoric.
All right. All right.